all together. Runs pretty good. I ran into some issues yesterday on the way home. Kind of two things that piled up. So the first thing being that a while ago I put a clear fuel hose as a steam port hose or steam hose or whatever. The cylinder head. It was supposed to be temporary, and I ended up making it permanent. I guess it was temporary until it wasn't, which was when it broke. So I ended up having issues with that yesterday, where I had a little hole burst in it. Actually, you can see where it kind of expanded pretty big and then popped. So yeah, that sucked. But the reason why it got hot enough to heat that rubber up and actually expand and pop, because I was fine for well over a week. But I put a fan in there. I had two 10-inch fans. I decided, hey, I was having, it was running hot. It wasn't overheating. It was running a little hot. So I ended up putting a 16-inch Summit fan. I used one when I got off a buddy. Put that on my car. And the temp seemed okay. I mean, it was cooler out, so I couldn't tell if it was doing any better. But I was almost to work, I was almost to work, and the temperature was climbing up to like 200. I didn't really notice it, but I was like, oh, what's that? It's like a bleach smell. To me, it reminded me of bleach. So I ended up almost getting to work. I looked down, I noticed my temp was at 200. I was like, it was staying well below like 180, 175. So it was strange. So I pulled off into a parking lot, popped the hood, turned off the fan, which should be on because it was 200 degrees, was spinning at like 3 RPM. So, I mean, it was just barely spinning. So I ended up unplugging it because it was smoking. Just that motor, the electric motor, was smoking like crazy. When I went down to plug it, I noticed that the electrical connection was melted, and I'm just an idiot. I grabbed the wires. I didn't check to see if they were hot, but I didn't get burned, but they were pretty hot. So I unplugged that, limped it to work. And I decided, I'd be alright on the way home. Even though it was going to be like 85, 90 out. I figured I'd just drive it home. To get more airflow through the radiator, I took off like this really jury-rigged shroud that I made, a little one out of like a plastic tote cover, just to see if it was just a very temporary thing to see if it would keep my engine cooler, which it did. But I was on my way home, trying to limp it home last night, and the temps were like 180, 185, 190. I was coming in Hamden. There's this light that I'm passing through right now, notorious, where it's just on a timer. But the moment your light turns red to where it turns green again, it's at least 5 minutes. It's obnoxious. So I'm just cruising around, trying to get home. Just hit the red lights. Crap. Pulled in a Dunkin' Donuts because I looked, my temps are at 200, which isn't dangerous, but without fans, sitting there idling with this little radiator, oh yeah, it would have popped. So I was like, So I ended up pulling in a parking lot, shut the car right off, but then turned the key on so I could watch the temp, and I knew the temp would rise. It always does, just residual heat from the exhaust, and the coolant just goes stagnant and stuff. So I ended up watching it, and the temps went to they got to 218, which that should have been about where it settled at. I got out of the car, popped the hood, and right when I went to lift it, just a bunch of steam started pouring out from under the hood. I was like, crap. So I popped it, and there was a little pinhole, little tiny pinhole in that clear line that I put, the temporary line. Luckily, I knew it was temporary, and that was just so I could see. I had a clear line just so I could see what the steam port was doing, see if a bunch of bubbles was coming through, which it did. I mean, I can't believe I ran without a steam port. But I grabbed one from underneath my seat. So I grabbed one from underneath the seat, and with no tools and some zip ties from under the hood, I just cut them and reused them because they were still big enough to get around that little steam port line, a 1/4 inch line. Ooh, it smells like coolant, which I'm guessing is purely because everything's getting hot. I spilled coolant everywhere. There's a little stream coming right out. These guys in these stock fucking LT1s and stuff, they think they have a chance. But yeah, anyway, so I got that line swabbed out, made it home. It was like 210 degrees when I was pulling in the yard. I was super scared, but I made it. And then I'm gonna drop some photos. So last night I was like, you know what? Before I drop $650 on this Griffin radiator shroud and fan kit, I'm gonna end up I'm just gonna build something and see how it works. Came out so good it might just become permanent. I mean, it's not like so good, but like it came out pretty good. So I'll drop a couple photos for you guys to look at of this metal shelving unit that I hacked up. I had an extra shelf that it was way too crammed in there, so I took out 2 shelves. So I used one of them to build a radiator shroud out of. Guys, I'll let you know how this goes, and we'll see you in the next video. We'll have some more stuff we're going to be doing. I need to do I want to do like a little shroud or like an air dam or air duct or whatever to go underneath, kind of like how the stock does it, but do like a big mouth style. So it's going to help suck air up into the radiator. But right now I'm running at 181 degrees. My fan just kicked on. I'm on the highway, so it's not really ideal. It should start dropping pretty quick.